Welcome to Eurofins ViraCore Clinical Diagnostics Podcast, where I'll be sharing up-to-date scientific advances, key diagnostic testing, and our most recent innovations. This is our aim is to connect with transplant professionals at this event while always staying patient-focused. Our aim is interviews aren't limited to any one profession. A diverse so whether you're a physician, lab director, transplant coordinator, patients, and even doctors or even the patient, also recipients, we would love to hear your voice. If you'd like to be a guest on our show, you can amplify your influence and tell your story. Summary on Amplify your influence on Transplant Radio. Enjoy episode 10 of our 15-part series.
Hi, welcome to Transplant Radio, Amplify Your Influence. My name's Kevin Thoth. I'm host for this year's event. It's August the 8th, a beautiful Monday morning here in sunny San Francisco. I have the extreme pleasure of sitting down with Lorrinda Gray Davis, president of Transplant Recipient International Organization, or TRIO. So welcome, Lorrinda. Glad to have you here. And she's going to share a bit of her history as both president of TRIO, in addition to your personal journey, I guess it is the word, of being a liver transplant recipient, and how this has helped you, excuse me, and kind of driven you into being an advocate for patients, for the support groups, and even for, on the political front of gaining support for, organizations like United Network of Organ Sharing, OPTN, as well as other support groups along those lines for making sure organs are available for transplant and that the people that need them get them. So again, good morning and welcome. If you'd like to tell the listening audience a little bit about yourself instead of me just reading through the bio I pulled of you off of the internet, please feel free to do so.
Well, my name is Lorrinda Gray Davis, and I just want to say you were doing a fantastic job, just reading from that. So, but I just want to start out with saying that I am so grateful to be here and to be able to talk to you today, because 7 years ago, there's no way that I would have been able to do this.
And you say 7 years ago, as we were talking about before we came on the air, I know today is August the 4th, but August the 8th is a milestone date for you.
Yes, August 8th is the day I received my liver transplant. And so that was 8/8/18. Those are my numbers. And I'm very grateful that I actually was able to get a transplant. A lot of times, going through end-stage liver disease and going through a lot of things that liver patients deal with, decompensation. I had one call to receive possible liver, and then it didn't happen. And it was really overwhelming, and grief that comes with that, because you're thinking the high of highest, I'm going to get a transplant, and then the low of lows, it's not going to be viable. And it was actually a week later that I got the call, and they said, "Are you okay with this?" I'm like, "Yes." I didn't know if I was going to get the next call because I was that sick.
Right. Yeah. Tell me when, tell me where, and I'll be there.
Yeah. That was for me. One of the things I always like to tell people is when I first started out, my background is in construction. And, at City Center in Las Vegas, Cosmopolitan Las Vegas, airports, hotels, and I was director of diversity. Okay. So I went on a nationwide hunt for minority women-owned businesses, veteran-owned companies, small businesses to participate on billion-dollar jobs. Mm-hmm. And actually was successful in spending over $1 billion with minority women-owned businesses. So when I had my transplant, it was just an automatic, I want to help, I want to give back, and having that experience that I had in the past was wonderful. I think that really fit, like it prepared me for this.
Right.
You never think about your life and the journey that you're on, and then something happens, and you can pull from the past and be able to go up and talk to people about a transplant or talk to anybody about things because of what I used to do.
And that's really interesting because I can see how, you were fighting for the minority, the people that aren't very well represented in the construction world, and then transitioning that into transplantation, again, where minorities in numbers, needing that help, needing that step up, for the awareness and like that. How big of a leap was it for you to make that change?
For me, it's not a big leap because all anyone wants is an opportunity to get there. And so whether it's a job or getting to transplant or getting to where you need to, it's how do I do this? And so making sure that people have a path or map it out, tell them, educate them, and they can get there and get it done.
So, and besides being, president of TRIO, you also are involved in several other organizations. I saw one where I think it was called You're Not Alone, Yana, and like that to help folks out, to be able to meet the criteria of being able to be eligible as a transplant recipient and such. So beyond that, what other avenues and what other projects are you in? Because I was reading, like I said, your history. I'm just going, wow, this lady is very impressive, and she's amplifying her influence, just like we're here on this podcast. So what other groups are you involved in?
Well, I'll talk about Yana for a second. Yana, I started because there's a lot of criteria for liver transplant patient to meet, and a lot of times if there's any alcohol use in the file, or maybe they've had alcohol, that they're required to attend AA.
Right.
So I went, and I struggled because I didn't see me in there. I hadn't gone to jail. We always think of this. I didn't drink that much. I didn't do this.
Right.
So we started an online AA meeting. We've had over 1,800 meetings, or every day, 5:30 to 6:30 for patients, because pre-transplant patients, they're told when they first are told they have to go, they're like, well, I don't want to go because I said that I'm not going to go.
Right.
But I went. But when you see people that are the same as you, going through the same struggle, it's more impactful, and the patients are amazing. And to see them call in from their hospital bed after they get their liver transplant, saying, hey guys, look what happened. We built a community, a safe space for people, and I'm very proud of that. And we've taken that and put that in the peer-to-peer spot for TRIO. And really, we've had over 480 meetings with that, every Tuesday and Thursday. And it's pre-transplant patients talking to post-transplant patients. We are not, sharing medical advice, but we share our experiences, experience, strength, and hope. And basically, so someone can say, I'm feeling really down, and I don't know if I can do this. And we can say, it's okay. We felt that way, and we know that you can do this, and we talk through it.
I think, that is a really innovative way of assisting people as well, because my community, I'm just outside of Kansas City, but we have, for where I live, the small town where I live, a Facebook group, and I would say weekly, if not bi-weekly, somebody posts on there, hey, is there a local AA chapter meetings, groups I can get into, or like that, looking for assistance and a place to go. But here you've got this online community, so it takes those regional boundaries and just removes them.
It does remove them.
I'm sorry, my allergies are acting up today.
No problem. It does remove them. We have people coming in from New York. We have people coming in from Atlanta, from Georgia. We have people coming in from Arkansas. We have people coming in from all over, and it's very nice to have that. Patients are really happy to be able, because when you're sick, you can't go anywhere.
Right.
When you're pre-transplant, you're post-transplant, you really can't go anywhere.
Right.
So if you have something to tune into at 5:30, and you could get in there and talk about stuff that you can't talk to your family about, it's really a great thing for patients to be able to do that.
Right. It gives them also that Well, I said the accessibility of, hey, I need to talk to somebody, but my normal meeting isn't scheduled from Thursday to Tuesday afternoon. I'm sure they could probably jump on this group and be able to connect with individuals where they could get that counseling, that support, and that mentorship that they need and desire.
Patients doing it. That's the whole thing. It's patient-led. Patients are actually running the AA. It's strict AA, and then the peer mentoring is, totally different. We talk about, transplant and that one, and we have a dietitian that comes in and talks to people. We don't have like a recipe book or anything like that because patients don't want to. I don't know how to cook, kind of thing. But I know I can go buy Greek yogurt, and this is a brand I'm going to go buy, and that's what I'm going to eat. So.
Very interesting. Talk a little bit more about Trio and the different support systems that you guys offer or what you promote. I mean, lists on the Trio's website: emotional and psychological well-being, reduction of stress and isolation, informed decision-making, advocacy for policy changing, financial assistance, and promotion of organ donation. You want to expand on those a little bit, if you will, as to exactly what they mean to the organization and what they mean to the population that Trio serves?
I can tell you that Trio actually was founded in 1987, and Dr. Starzl, a couple of heart patients went to him, and they wanted to start something, and so, it's just an honor to be able to be a part of it. And 6 months after my transplant, I joined Trio, and then started Trio Oklahoma, and then took over as president of Trio National, and we're growing in different directions, and we're starting to focus on post-transplant cancer, and we actually had a paper written in 2020, and now we're revising the website and updating the material for patients because post-transplant cancers do occur, and it's making people aware of it so they can prevent, more of a cancer prevention, because if you can look, learn, and live and get it early, but also just have opportunities to go and educate yourself about updated information and not something that was posted in 2008 that happens to be still on the internet.
Right.
And patients are reading something that it might scare them. And so we want to make sure that we tell patients, we know you're going to be Dr. Google. We know you're going to go look it up. So look for key things. Make sure it's coming from a reputable hospital or policy. Look at the date. Policies change.
Policies change, procedures change,
correct.
Therapeutics change, technology changes. Yeah, you've got to be able to look at both sides. I've got 2 boys in my family, and they're both very internet savvy. And we'll be talking, and one of them, he's an engineer, so he's very much by the book. And I'll be talking about something, and he'll well, now I read this, and according to this, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, that's good, but here's an opposing view to it. Fake news, fake news, fake news. I said, okay, here's 15 opposing articles about this, and they explain why. Oh, okay. I said, you can't go to a single source. There's no really one single source of truth out there. You've got to educate yourself, and I recommend educating yourself on both sides of the issue, because they both have very good points, but there's got to be a commonality within there, and you have to read that to understand what it is, to see, oh, yeah, that's the way it used to be a few years ago, but this is what it's evolving to now, and it's better than it was. I mean, that's all we can really hope for.
Absolutely. I know, we have patients, we have the hard conversations with patients. So, we'll have a group of patients, and if someone passes away, we will call and have a social worker come in, and we have that discussion. And we talk about it, because there's people that have received their transplant, they're like, well, maybe it should have went to her, or...
Right.
But we address that because everyone is a little different, and I think having the hard conversations about that makes their feelings valid. they're able to say it out loud. I feel guilty, and then we talk about what are the policies. This is how it goes down. This is why it didn't go to her. There's certain matching. There's certain things that need to happen. So,
well, and I've also heard too, like I told you, I have an arm's length experience with liver transplants, working on a laboratory team for a liver transplant program. But not only is there the questions from families of, well, why didn't my mother, sister, brother, daughter, husband, whatever get that liver, but there's also some recipient remorse in a way too of, okay, why did I get this? What made me be the person to get this particular organ and such? Do you help along those lines too with counseling and connecting folks to others to help them understand that it was the best organ and you were the best person to get that for you?
We do discuss that, and we also refer them to counselors, because I'm not a trained counselor, but I'm a trained patient. I have been through the process, so I understand certain things. When my brother had his transplant, I told him, I said, you're going to be full of life. You're going to see things differently, and you're going to want to do things and have a different outlook that no one sees. Mm-hmm. And your family is still the same. They still have that same outlook as they had before your transplant. They're still worried. And so we have to talk about the family dynamic also when it comes to that, because a patient will come through and go, oh, well, I've got a new lease on life. And the family's like, I'm still trying to recover from getting you through this. So help us. And so I feel like as a patient gets better, some family members think they went to the new liver part store and got a new liver and everyone's great and should be doing stuff.
Right.
Or, the patient wants to do too much at one time. And it's just getting through that process.
I mean, there's a lot of great organizations out there. We've talked to the Gift for Life, National Kidney Foundation. We've got an interview coming up in a couple hours from a gentleman from, and it escapes me right now, Mended Hearts. And like this. But everything I've heard and in my experience with it too is, you say, okay, the person got the new liver. That's great, they're feeling better. But really you need to look holistically at the whole thing of the support system that's around these people that get that organ. You can't forget about them either, because no, they didn't get the organ, but they still have that experience that they need to work through as well.
So we do care partner meetings, and I call them care partners because I am not a caregiver, nor do I know anything about caregiving at all. So we do have people that do that, and so the care partners can come in pre or post-transplant with their patients. They can have their own meeting and say, I'm tired and I am frustrated, and someone can say, my husband was acting like this and I had to do this and this is what helped. And I think having that space for them as well has been terrific. And if we don't have it, I'll send them to other organizations, because I believe that I'm not the end-all be-all. And I think everyone in the community does wonderful things. And we should be able to send patients to other places as well.
Exactly, I agree with you completely. So I just want to kind of wrap up here. It says, TRIO acts as a vital lifeline for individuals and families facing the complications of transplantation, offering a comprehensive approach of support, education, and advocacy to improve the quality of life. So part of that is, how can anybody that's interested in TRIO, the organization, find more information about it out there on the website? What's the website for TRIO?
So the website for TRIO is www.trio.org.
All right. And then if they want to find you on social media, because I understand you've got a few profiles out there, how can they get a hold of you?
I'm under Lorrinda Gray Davis on everything except for X. I'm Lorrinda D.
Lorrinda D.
But I do have one thing I want to ask.
Yeah.
So do you have a fight song?
I was looking through one of your bios, one of your things, and I really don't have it. Well, I do. Eye of the Tiger.
Okay.
Is probably my go-to fight song. Get me pumped up, get me going. But I know that you had one historically, and you've got a new one.
So I have a historically one is, my fight song. This is my fight song, Rachel Platten. And for me, that helped me when I wanted to give up. There were so many times that I wanted to give up, and I played that over and over again until I could do it. And we have so many patients that get fight songs because of that. And we have a trio fight song playlist on Spotify.
Oh, interesting.
And we like to, one is All I Do Is Win. We have, it's just crazy, the fight songs. But, what team doesn't have a fight song?
Oh, yeah.
And I think there's different times, like Eminem before I go speak. Lose yourself. And everyone's like, that's what you listen to before you go speak? And I'm like, yes.
That's interesting. That's awesome. Now, also talking about your presence on Facebook, you had a recent post that was pretty impactful. Would you care to share that with the audience?
I would love to share that because I think that, we think of dates being important and being the one that says, oh, that's how you're okay. So I posted, there's a moment in every transplant journey that isn't on the medical chart. It's not in the surgery, it's not in the test result, it's not the discharge date, but there's just that moment where you recognize, I'm going to be okay. And in the post on Facebook, I had a lot of comments, and the comments were absolutely wonderful and tear-jerking. Yeah. But to hear, I want to share just one of them, and it just really meant a lot. And this came from a friend, and she says, "Oh, girl. Exactly. 5 months post-transplant, and recently I had a moment like this. Was actually laughing about something and realized I wasn't in a constant state of anxiety. I have my moments, but this was eye-opening. I'm so thankful for you." Just by that one little post, wow. People can say, when was that time? And they think about it and they're like, oh, it was that time I got to laugh. Yep. Again and not think about it.
It's kind of like, you talk about fight songs, kind of like movies too, waiting to exhale. It's going, and then you feel the tension release as you release that big breath and go, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm doing this. Let's go forward and make the best of it that we can.
Absolutely.
That is phenomenal. Lorrinda, I appreciate your time today. Pleasure meeting you. Also, for folks, I don't know if you can see it or not, Cancer Today, the summer issue, Ms. Lorrinda is on the cover, but there's also a fantastic story about her inside. Take the time, read it, learn more about this wonderful lady and trio, and the awesome things that you and the organization are doing for transplant recipients.
Well, thank you very much for having me today.
Thank you. Have a great show. Take care.
You too.
Make sure to subscribe to this podcast and follow us on social media to stay up to date on all the latest information. If you want to help spread the word, please give us a 5-star review and tell your friends and colleagues to subscribe too. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Podbean, and more. With over 40 years of diagnostic innovation and specialized expertise in infectious disease, pre- and post-transplant, allergy and immunology testing for immunocompromised and critical patients, Eurofins ViraCore is committed to helping medical professionals, transplant teams, and reference labs get results faster when it matters most. ViraCore is passionate about delivering value to our clients by providing timely, actionable information, never losing sight of the connection between the testing we perform and the patients you serve.